Hello, everybody. Full interest.
Yeah,
My Hero the show,
My Hero
Macadamia.
Academia, episode 49,
That's the one.
technically. One for all.
Yay!
So, this episode starts with it starts with a little bit of All Might's flashback to when he was young in middle school, as evidenced by the Gyakurin he's wearing. And,
Okay, that was. Mm-hmm. All right. School
okay, I can't still
uniform
use.
is also a word that you could
It's a
use.
specific type of school uniform, okay? But
It
he says
literally
this.
means school clothes, dude. That's literally what it means.
Okay, sure. I also just like the name. It sounds cool for the black clothes, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm a chuny. It's fine.
That's not
Anyways,
what that word means either. That's a different
I
thing.
know. I know. I
Zero's really
know.
tired, you guys.
I'm so tired. So, um, All Might is saying, or as we know him now by his full name, Toshinori Yagi, is talking to at that moment, the current One for All holder, saying there's a reason why this country, why the crime rate isn't decreasing, no matter how many heroes we throw at it. People need something to believe in. That this country needs a pillar,
Yeah, and
and
I
I
want to
want to
be
be
that
that.
pillar. I want to be a symbol of peace. Which, wow, that's kind of arrogant. I mean, he
It
does it,
worked.
fair play, but just as literally a quirkless dude with no anything, he's just saying, "Yeah, I'm going to be the symbol of peace, and I'm going to single-handedly be the cause of the crime rate to drop."
It's 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 the shonen belief of I'm going to be the Pirate King. I'm going to be the Hokage. I'm going to be the Pokemon Master.
Yeah, I
I'm
guess.
going to be the best at what I do, and I'm going to accomplish the best that I can do.
Mm.
And to which his we get to see Nana Shimura's face, who says, "That's a crazy idea, kid. I like it, even though you're quirkless."
Mm.
And then we cut forward after the opening to so they got Bakugo out.
Yep.
It wasn't a
Everything was.
rescue operation. You were just my best way out.
You're welcome.
You're alive. It's great.
Mm.
Um, and so they got Bakugo out of there, and the battle is continuing between All Might and All for One,
Mm.
who you know narrates that he did kill the previous owner of All for One for All, Nana Shimura, which
He was at
was
least
had
present when
been
she died, but yeah, that does imply that he killed her.
mhm, very heavily implies, especially considering his history with All Might.
Mm.
So he manages to repel All Might up into the air, who almost hits a helicopter, but then is stopped by Gran Torino.
Yeah.
And then All for One's like, yeah, heroes have things they need to protect, right? You can't dodge this attack. And All Might takes the blow, another blow once he hits the ground.
Yeah,
Um,
he decides to take the blow because if he moves, then a civilian that's caught in the rubble is going to get killed. So he
yeah,
has to take it, even though Gran Torino is like, no, you need to not take this guy head on because he's fighting completely different to last time. He is pretty much stronger than you head on right now, so don't do that. But then he has to. So
the end result of that is that All Might is left exposed to the world and the media in his no might form, as we're calling him.
yeah, I forget what the popular term for it is, but I still prefer ours.
And he everybody sees it now. It's no secret that he is emaciated and that he is very badly injured. To
Hmm.
which, you know, All Might is like, it doesn't matter. I still have my heart, and you can never take that away from me. And then All for One is like, well, actually,
Oh, right. Let me try, though.
since your heart can't be taken away, obviously, this obviously won't shake you when I tell you that Shigaraki is Nana Shimura's grandson.
Oh, Chris Sabat is a really good voice actor. He is a really good voice actor.
I actually did listen to the dub after this, after I watched the sub. It's so good.
Hmm.
I set up Shigaraki specifically to come to you so that you would beat him down, and not even knowing, so that I could eventually reveal this to you.
Yeah, I like All Might's reaction that it's not "how could you" or "you're despicable." It's "oh God, what would she think if she were to see this?"
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not about All for One. It's about the people he let down by doing that and falling
it's
for
about
it.
his own failings,
Yeah.
and it's really tragic. And then the woman he just saved calls out, "Don't lose," and everybody starts to kind of cheer for All Might,
Yeah.
which is really great. And
Yeah.
you get the side by side of Deku and Bakugo, shouting, "Don't lose, All Might," and All Might gets one arm now using the Deku technique.
Hmm.
Because remember, it was narrated earlier. All Might has never actually had to go through the same things that Deku did because he could use 100% from the get-go.
He could just do it automatically as it's supposed to be done, whereas Deku had to figure out a workaround because he just didn't get how the power worked. So this is technically a technique that All Might learned from Deku, technically.
Yes, it is, and that's what's great. Because, obviously when you're passing it down to Deku, it's way more powerful than when, All Might first got it, so All Might could handle it a lot easier than Deku could.
Hmm.
But now he's...
Yeah,
it's so good.
Before that happens, we actually have the other heroes coming in as well.
Oh, yeah. I really want to talk about that.
Yeah, Endeavor jumping in and being like, "What the fuck, dude? Looking all wimpy and shit."
And we get a very short amount of backstory for Endeavor of, as I saw, the distance between me and him was like insurmountable, and the more I saw it, I know in the dub it said the angrier and angrier I became. In the sub it says the more I despaired. And then he gets a flash to the angry face of Todoroki and then to his wife. And the basic realization of, All Might's been like a skeleton, like emaciated, and Endeavor has still not been able to catch up to him.
Yep.
B, everything he did was all for nothing. In a sense, and I'll go more into that at the end of the episode, but this is a major turning, it's going to be a major turning point for a lot of things in this story. Kamui Woods and all the other pro heroes come in, and they're able to rescue the other heroes and get them out of there. Whereas
great.
All for One prepares an even bigger fist of let's use even more quirks.
Yeah, and he lists them, and you can see which ones are which in that grotesque, monstrous thing on his shoulder. I won't call it an arm, because it's not one anymore.
One thing I like that's pretty interesting about All for One is he doesn't have a lot of, currently, he doesn't have a lot of quirks that are complicated. They're all very, relatively simple quirks. because every quirk he adds, he has to learn. So, in order to get strong enough to replenish his stock and just be able to fight against All Might in a short amount of time, it's like, I don't have time for this. I'm just going to grab as many, like, I'm going to hit you as hard as I can quirks as possible.
Yep, as much reinforcement stuff as he can get. Which, interesting thing that I noticed, the rivets one, which you can see in his shoulder appendage.
Yeah.
I guess that shows that he can take heteromorphic quirks as well, which is interesting.
He can take any quirk as far as
Yeah,
I'm aware. So
literally
that
anything. I was not aware of that.
there is currently a theory going around that the doctor that is this is a very strong, like lots of evidence for this theory, but the doctor that helps him build the Nomus is the same doctor who, diagnosed Deku as being quirkless, right? And so there's a theory that those two have been working together, and All for One has been stealing the quirks of children, and then those children get till they're quirkless. Because naturally, with the quirk singularity, as quirks get more complex, as children are born, and quirks mix, by targeting the children, All for One would have all the best quirks available to him.
Wait, you're saying the doctor from the beginning was the same as the one that's working for All for One?
They have a very similar appearance, and so people have judged it by that.
It's an interesting theory.
Yeah, I have nothing to back that up. No, there's nothing in the manga yet that's even talked about that. So that's just me theorizing. But
plausible, but
back to the show. All for One just charges at All Might, who proceeds to try to match it head on, and it's like, oh yeah. In the sub, it's just impact nullification.
Yeah, I think in the dub it was.
I think it was impact recoil.
That was it. Yeah, it was recoil.
Yeah. Either way, you're screwed,
Mm.
as his arm is just getting busted. And then he pulls a Deku again.
Yeah, he just switches which arm the power is sent to. So the first one is a fake out. He's sacrificing his arm just as a fake out so he can use the other one, which, yeah, very Deku maneuver.
And then punches, and he says during this, I'm not doing this as a symbol of peace. I'm doing this for my teacher and for my student so I can be there to teach him. I refuse to die.
Yeah. Also, All for One, I can never remember. All for One is like, so that kid, Izuku Midoriya.
Oh yeah.
He's him, isn't he? He's the one you passed your power on to.
Yeah, he figured that out. You have just the embers of One for All. And in what is one of the most, beautifully animated parts of this entire show, we get the first there's it does all the stars thing to represent the passing down of the quirk, and it stops on the purple one, which is Nana Shimura, who holds out the power for All Might to grab it and then do one last punch. The freaking United States of Smash.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
It's so good. It's so beautiful. It's so the entire show. It builds up with him saying, Delaware Smash or New Hampshire Smash, and
Detroit Smash, which is a city and not a state, but whatever.
Yeah, but it's still an American place. And for his final move to be the culmination of all of that, there's no better name. And it's so great. It makes a gigantic hurricane And goodbye,
This is what the
goodbye,
sunglasses are for, goddammit.
goodbye, all for one, and so long, one for all.
And the flame goes out. Is that face?
And he holds his fist high and briefly turns back into his muscle form, telling everybody that it's okay, essentially. They lock up, all for one.
And funnily enough, Gran Torino actually says this is his last thing to the other heroes. He says that out loud, which is interesting.
And All Might at the very end points at the cameras, at the media, and says, it's different in the sub and the dub, but
Okay.
like he says, it's your turn in the sub. I believe the dub is your next.
No, it's now it's your turn. It's the same.
Now it's your turn. Okay, so I think one of them was your next. I might have been the sub. Your next is what was used in the manga for the translation.
I think the dub translation works better.
Yeah, I'm not saying which one's better. I'm just trying to say that there were multiple ways it was said.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more ways that now it's your turn could be sort of just interpreted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your next does sound threatening of, hey, I'm going to come after you next kind of thing.
Yeah.
As well as, being a message to Deku. But now it's your turn. Could be a message to other villains, could be a message to Deku, could be a message to
other heroes.
Up-and-coming heroes, because we know he's going to retire after this.
And so everybody cheers because they think it's a threat to villains, and Deku begins to tear up and cry, which Bakugo is right there and he notices. What an amazing episode.
Yeah.
So, if that wasn't enough to tell you, this is the last time we'll ever see All Might have a fight like that at all, or fight at all. And for Endeavor, because All Might is basically going to have to retire after this means Endeavor automatically becomes the number one by default.
But it also means his entire ambition was pointless because he never surpassed All Might. All Might just stepped down.
Yes. And I think that's such an amazing thing for him to not have to go through. I abused my wife and children so they could surpass All Might and become number one heroes and become better than me. And now I didn't surpass All Might, and now I'm number one by default.
Yep.
I think it's it's the kind of thing where I feel like this is where the entire story, the entire society really changes. Like, this is a huge turning point in the story. And All Might really did represent something. And so many lives are affected because All Might is no longer able to fight. Personally, I love that the show didn't actually kill All Might in this fight.
Yeah.
Because it could have been a setup. It could have been a perfect setup for, master character gets killed. Now it's time for a new character to finally...
They really are doing the Star Wars analog storyline throughout. Like, All Might is Obi-Wan Kenobi, Gran Torino is Yoda, even being tiny, and they obviously have the scattering of fucking Star Wars place names everywhere. Been doing it for the whole show, or series, whatever you want to call it. So killing All Might here would have fit into that. It is good that they didn't. I agree with you.
Because I think by not killing All Might, you have much more of effect on the characters. All Might now has to be sitting by powerless. Well, villains now no longer have to worry about their resident Superman beating them up in an instant. And he's going to be there for Deku.
Presumably,
And we're going to see how that relationship changes, if at all. And, like the difference between All Might dying and living is All Might is now there, and All Might can still talk to people and still influence them and be influenced by the events and still grow as a character.
Yeah. Well, you know what that means? Time for Kamui Woods to step up. He is going to be the #1 hero. I want to see his journey to the top, because that's what's going to happen. I'm 100% certain of it, because he is that fucking cool. He's just going to rise
He's
through the
doing
ranks.
pretty well in the rankings.
It's a cool dude.
It is later revealed that, interestingly enough, it is later revealed that the way the rankings are done is it's by 2 categories, and one is how much hero work you do, and the other is how popular you are.
That's not revealed later. That was revealed like right at the beginning. That's first
okay.
episode.
Yeah, true.
In fact, they showed it off with Kamui Woods and Mount Lady. That is how they showed it off. That's how that works.
I was just thinking to the I'm not thinking backwards. I'm thinking forwards. And I'm tired. So
Zero's tired, you guys.
But the biggest difference between All Might and Endeavor was obviously always Endeavor did more hero work, especially since All Might was running low on time. He could actually be a hero, but All Might was always more popular.
Yeah, I guess All Might always had a more heroic image, partially because he was actually more heroic, but also just the image of dude surrounded by hellfire and always looking fucking angry. That is not a good image for a hero. So yeah, it makes sense that he would be less popular.
I mean, All Might was inspiring, and Endeavor was like,
terrifying.
If you're a kid, you're like, yeah, he's kind of cool, but most people would be, So it's there are a few moments this is the next episode is called End of the Beginning and Beginning of the End.
Oh god, it's maybe again. Sorry.
It's like that term. It's like that term is used so much. This is the end of an era, and I feel like a lesser writer would have either A, had All Might be killed, B, let the villain get away, or just win, or something.
Well, he'll probably get away in the future anyway, because they took him alive, which is probably a mistake, but, whatever.
Yeah, death sentence is tricky. So, I mean, All Might tried to kill him last time, and we see how that turned out.
Yeah, he has no eyes anymore. Oh, we didn't mention one of the creepiest cool moments of the episode, which was the whole, remember, you have to put a smile on your face, and he pushes it up like that.
Yeah.
Only he has no eyes, so it's really creepy looking. And doesn't actually work all that well, but...
Yeah, fun fact, he did that entire fight blind, because he has no actual eyes. He's terrifying. Two dying men beat each other up, and it's the most epic thing.
Who would have thought all Might had to do to win that fight was throw his voice? Here, I'm over here. What? How did he get behind me so fast?
Did his speed increase? That's hilarious. I mean, I don't think it would work, but
be worth a try. Anyway, yeah. So, any last thoughts?
What were your thoughts?
I pretty
feel
much
like I've been
gave them as
talking
we
a
were going. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I really love this episode. I've been reading the manga since chapter 1. So when I first got to this chapter in particular, I was freaking out so much. Because My Hero Academia likes to introduce a lot of shonen tropes and then subvert them in ways that are interesting and lead to good writing. And that makes me happy. Like I said, I'm glad that All Might is still alive because that makes everything more interesting, and it would be so easy just to kill him off. And yeah, exposing All Might before the world, not shying away from that and what that would do to your world, because I feel like you run into a lot of situations in which the secret must be kept no matter what. We cannot expose the secret. And the plot will move and things will not make sense in order to make sure that secret is maintained. Whereas this shows like the secret's out. Now we have to deal with the consequences. But yeah, I'm very excited to see the rest of the season. And I've been waiting for that episode for so long. It was so beautiful. So gosh darn beautiful. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
All right. So that was episode 49. 49? 49. Oh, it should have been
Fortnite.
episode 50 for the United States. That's a missed opportunity.
Well, it depends on if you count Rhode Island as a state.
Okay, sure.
It's really small.
Wasn't it like one of the original states or something?
It's really small. You could just roll it into another state and be fine.
It's DC as well. It's technically not a state. It doesn't belong to... Whatever. It's fine. So, episode 49. Which one was this one again?
This the name of the episode? One for All.
Thank you. Like I say, I keep getting them mixed up. Every single time I have to go, wait, which one is it? And yeah. We had both of them in quick succession as episode titles, and that didn't help. So, yeah, episode 49 we'll be back next week, maybe. I'm not sure because Zero's moving and we'll be without internet for a while, so I don't know. But we'll be back when we're back, I guess, is what I'll go with. So, yeah, thanks for watching.
I should have internet back for the next episode of this, at least.
You're relying on an internet company. That's adorable. So we'll be back when we're back. Bye, everybody.
I'm relying on the anger of my parents. Bye.